talking business, nothing but talk.
The RSPCA has centres throughout Queensland where they rescue, rehabilitate and rehome animals. Of course, they do much more. They operate commercial businesses. There is more we can all do for them, such as volunteer and donate. George Costi is the State Operations Manager of RSPCA Queensland. George, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate the invitation.
Look, you've been with the RSPCA for 9 years. Some of the highlights and achievements.
I think some of the highlights for myself is a program that I implemented called Operation Wanted, which is a statewide desexing program that, in partnership with 26 regional councils and 200 vets, offers a 20% discount for a 3-month period, being June, July, August of every year. And we historically have desexed between 12,000 and 20,000 animals over that time frame. And it's a very proactive initiative implemented by the RSPCA and myself.
The RSPCA has reduced services across the state. Why is this?
We've been severely impacted by the coronavirus. A couple of weeks ago, we closed all our off-shop businesses, 16 of them across the state. We also operate 2 very large retail outlets, and at this point they're operational purely just as a service for the general public. But we had 6 op-shops, or we have 6 op-shops on the Gold Coast that were always very successful, but given the restrictions placed upon the RSPCA and these particular business units as a result of donations and volunteer support and the reduction in people visiting these facilities, we were forced to close all 6 Gold Coast shops and 9 of the other regional op shops. And they were quite very successful in raising desperate in this organisation.
So what's the impact? I mean, of course the impact is severe, but the impact on the animals themselves, I mean, less shops, less money means tougher times.
Yeah, we also have 9 regional centres, and obviously our inspectorate are situated and placed in a multitude of regional centres across Queensland. And we've minimised our services in all our centres, but we're still operational. You can still actually adopt an animal, but it's by phoning in or getting on the website and having a look and making an appointment, but restricted services across the state in terms of staffing and operating hours. But each centre is still active and still helping animals in needs across the state. We are financially affected negatively as a result of this. Even donations and fundraising activities are stopped, so it's put the RSPCA in a very difficult and tight situation financially.
It was reported in one of the newspapers just recently that adoptions had increased because people were home by themselves. And I sort of looked and I thought, is that really the case? Is it really the case?
It's actually the case, not just here in Queensland, Australia, but overseas and majority of countries. Yeah, that is the case, and it spiked. And adoptions for those last couple of weeks did decrease across all our centres. What we've done is actually placed all our animals that would be traditionally in the care centres out to foster. Mm-hmm. And if you jumped on the RSPCA website, you can still look at all the animals that are available for adoptions through our virtual adoption initiative that we implemented. But back to your original question, Mike, yeah, 100% our adoption spiked in the last couple of weeks, but they're starting to taper off now.
Can you tell me about the statewide desexing program?
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned earlier on, the Operation Wanted. It's been going now this will be its 6th year, and we're in the process of making the decision as to whether we continue it again this year. And we've already got 100 vet clinics signed up, and several of the councils have committed financially to keep the program going. So at this point, we're evaluating the program, but it's our intention to keep it going. And it's a very simple formula. Councils and RSPCA support the program financially. All the vet clinics offer a 20% discount during that period, which makes a difference to a lot of people that can't afford desexing, and allows people to have their animal desexed at a reduced price throughout Queensland. And I think I mentioned last year we had 260 vet clinics participating and 26 regional councils supporting the program financially. And what the money is used for goes into advertising and driving awareness of the program and help the patrons and the vet clinics get together to have their animals desexed at a reduced price.
So if those are listening right now, they're thinking about, okay, it's and it is a great organisation. You've been around since Adam, not yourself, but since the organisation, since Adam was a boy. How do they keep this service viable? What do you need at the moment?
RSPCA, like many welfare organisations and profits, are dependent on donations and fundraising, and it is tough times for everybody, and we understand that. But if everyone can give a little bit to the organisation and other animal welfare groups as well to keep our activities going during this period, financial support is always preferred. So if anyone can jump on any of our websites, there are portholes there that allow people to donate, and that the money is used for our inspectorate, it's used for our animal ambulance services, our regional centres and our vet hospitals. RSPCA has two massive big hospitals. One is designated to wildlife, and we actually take in close to 18,000 wildlife animals at the Waco Vet Clinic there, and our other domestic clinic takes in close to about 12,000 domestic animals as well. So money raised and donations always is well spent and needed to help animals.
The future of the RSPCA in Queensland, you mentioned some have closed. Will they reopen, and where do you see it?
Well, the majority of our business units have closed, given that the revenue in some cases disappeared altogether or was reduced by 90%. It is our intention, when this is all over, to reactivate all our business units. We have 6 units on the Gold Coast, so it's our intention to get them up and running, and same with all the regional centres. It's a case day-by-day proposition, and when we open them will be determined what state government and what the Australian government allows us to do so as well. But it's vital that we get these businesses up and running, because they do contribute a large amount of funds that help keep the RSPCA going. It's going to be difficult going forward. Whether the RSPCA comes out of this the same or in another format is yet to be seen, but it's had a really, really bad impact on us financially and operationally as well. But as I said, we've managed to keep every regional centre open, reduce services, but they're all open, from Cairns right down to the Gold Coast, inland to Toowoomba and Kingaroy.
Okay, if somebody wants to donate, I would imagine they go to rspcaqld.org.au to find out more and donate?
Absolutely, and all the information on all our facilities and all our operations on our website. So donating financially is preferred, and when this is all over, we love volunteers to volunteer in all our op shops and our retail shops and at our animal care centres as well. And we love taking good donations that we can on-sell. But at this point, we can't take them because all our businesses are closed. But yes, go onto the RSPCA website, and definitely, if you can help, it'd be much appreciated.
And just as a sidebar, you remind me of a condensed version of the Leyland brothers. Well, just tell us what your movements are today. You're all over the state. Tell me that you must love driving.
Oh, I can chalk up to about 70 to 80,000 k's a year.
Jeez.
And part of my role is I support the regional facilities as well. So I tend to I drive up to Bundaberg, sometimes Rockhampton, and fly from there to Mackay, Gladstone, Townsville, or even Cairns. So, yeah, southeast Queensland, I do a lot of driving, and I spend a lot of time in my car and on the phone, Mike.
And you do that well. Don't know about the driving bit, but the part on the phone, magnificent.
Thank you.
George Costi, State Operations Manager of RSPCA Queensland. Thank you very much and have a great Easter.
Thank you for allowing me to have a chat to you today, Mike.